What's going on, ladies and gents? It is time for another stretch and release class. This is Coach Adam. For today's stretch and release, you're going to need a foam roller and a lacrosse ball. If you don't have a lacrosse ball, you can use any kind of ball, softball, tennis ball, anything that you got as your resource. All right. Today's focus, we're going to be targeting the lats. We're going to work all up and down this lateral fascial line, all the way up into that tricep, making good use of all that soft tissue work. Then we're going to finish off a little bit of stretching. Set that lacrosse ball off to the side. We're going to go ahead and start with that foam roller. First thing I want you to do is come down to the sideline position, and we're going to extend that arm all the way out here. All right, area that I'm targeting, we're going to work pretty much from the armpit down to about the middle of the abdomen. We're working that nice long lat that stretches on the outside there. So the first thing I want you to do is stretch that arm out. I want you to just kind of soften and relax onto that roller, and we're just going to go a little bit of up and down. What I'm doing is I'm taking this hand and I'm even pushing into that roller, giving myself a little bit of motion, sliding that hand across the floor. So each spot we're going to target for roughly about a minute before we move on to a different technique. While we're on that lat, we're going to do a little side to side. So all I'm going to do is open up my chest to the sky. From there, I'm going to close that chest down. So the lat is one of the biggest muscles of the back. So we're stretching, working, both high, low, side to side. This is that next technique. We're going to work on what's called a scrub. So I'm going to pin that muscle down. From there, I'm going to slide my body forward. You're going to feel all that skin and all that tissue kind of move with it. And then I'm going to push away. So I'm actually going to take my hand and use that roller to my advantage. If you got a short roller, you can use that floor. Push on and away. So I'm pinning it down. Good. The last one, I'm going to scrub nice big circles all the way through that tissue, getting it nice and loose. And relax. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Other arm working on that lat. We're going to flip it over, extend that arm out. So the reason why we're stretching out that lat is going to help with good overhead position, or if you're holding anything in a front rack, like for example if you're doing a shoulder press or some carries. All those things, stretching out that lat, making it more supple. It's going to help improve that. We're going to start out with a little up and down first. So I like to kind of explore how that tissue's feeling. If there's any particular spot that feels tight, tender, I'm going to hover over that spot. Lats are really good for giving you a little bit of feedback. I'm feeling it a little bit today in my lower lats. From here, we're going to do a little side to side. So I'm going to open up the body. Woo. That's where I feel it right there. Same thing, nice and gentle, coming back down. So we're making that tissue a little bit more desensitized and able to take a little bit more pressure and give, so that we can start to improve that range of motion in that overhead position. Good. I'm going to do a little scrub back and forth, pinning that muscle down, pushing back and forth, utilizing either that roller or the floor. And from there, we're going to get some nice good circles in there. Perfect. We're going to shed that roller off to the side. Next, we're going to work with the lacrosse ball, and we're going to work the triceps. Particular area that we're going to work on the triceps is the origin, which is going to be all those connections back here on the back of the humerus. All right, same position as we did with that roller, only instead of underneath the armpit, we're now above the armpit, more so on the upper third of the arm here. So I want you to go ahead and set that ball You can kind of move it around. And then from here, I want you to relax that arm out. And you can even make that head nice and heavy here. So what I'm trying to do is push into that tricep. Relax that arm, add a little bit of pressure. You can even add a little bit of movement if you move it to a little bit more of the outside, maybe have a little bit more tenderness, that's okay. I want to target that tissue. All right, from here, we're going to add in a little bit of flexion extension of the elbow. So I want you to come on up, flex, try to touch the back of the neck. Then we extend that arm out, add in a little bit of movement as we're pinning down that tissue. So each time I'm breathing out, trying to sink down onto that ball, pushing down onto it, giving yourself a little bit more intensity into that tricep. Last one, I'm going to incorporate some circles. We're going to add a little bit of movement through the elbow. What that's going to do is we're going to hit both the medial and lateral aspects of that origin point on that tricep there. Once you've done a few circles one direction, go same thing, opposite direction. And relax, same thing on the other side. We're going to flip it over. Switch arms. Kind of find that spot just above the armpit, but we're below into that top 1/3 of the upper arm here. Move, shift around until you find a nice, good little pressure point. From here, I'm going to soften my head, kind of relax. Use the weight of your head to push down onto that ball. Good. We're going to add in a little bit of flexion, extension through the elbow. Taking that arm, woo, touching the back of the neck, coming all the way back down to the floor. So this is really where you start to feel and understand what's happening, what's going on as you incorporate a little bit of movement. The tension and tightness of those muscles change, and what we want to do is allow them to move a little bit more freely, a little bit less restricted. That's going to help alleviate pain, make you less prone to injury, all of the good things. All right, next I'm going to add in some circles. So I'm going to try to reach that wrist through. I'm even going to turn over that wrist. It's going to help rotate that upper arm through both internal and external rotation. We're going to switch it up other direction. Pushing down onto that tricep. And relax, excellent. All right, now that we've hit the soft tissue work, we're going to spend a little bit of time stretching. If you've got a chair, couch, bench, anything that you've got available to you, we're going to utilize that. If you just have the floor, you can also do these out here. So we're going to start out with a straight arm overhead reach. I want you to press the hands into that chair, bench, floor, whatever you have available, and we're going to sink that chin down towards the floor. Very similar to our child's pose. We're going to walk the hands out just a little bit, keeping those elbows straight. Relaxing through the back. What we're trying to do is accomplish stretching through that lat into the tricep. Even get a good stretch through the mid back and shoulders. This is a good comprehensive upper body stretch. I want you to take one big deep breath. As you exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Good. I want you to come up just a couple inches. From here, we're going to glide side to side like an airplane. And what I'm trying to do is dive just a little bit deeper into those lats. Especially where it's wrapping around the shoulder and attaching itself to that upper arm. Nice, good stretch through each. You may feel this pull all the way down into that low back. That lat is pretty large muscle. Again, it wraps all the way from here all the way down. All right, next we're gonna dive a little bit closer to the tricep. We're just gonna work one arm at a time. I'm gonna place that elbow on that bench, and from there I'm gonna sink that head down towards the floor. And I'm gonna try to take that tricep behind the head. If you have this hand free, you can start to kind of walk it down the back. If you wanna use a little bit of support, you can go hand on the floor. If you're on the floor, same thing. You can still lean into that floor, nice, soft, and heavy. We're gonna go ahead and switch to the other side. Elbow on that bench, arm reaching down the small of the back. Working that breath. Trying to get a little bit deeper, see if you can get that elbow a little farther behind the head without straining the neck. Good. The next one, we're gonna do a double front rack stretch. So I'm gonna take both elbows here. My head's gonna go through the hole, and I'm just gonna relax down. You can also do this from the floor. If you're here on the floor, you can go either here, or you can even do it resting on top of the floor here. Nice, good stretch. Taking those big deep breaths. Perfect. The last one, we're gonna throw a little bit of dynamic stretching. We're gonna do a T-spine twist. It's gonna hit a little bit of the lat to finish. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that elbow down towards the wrist. I'm gonna reach up all the way out. All right, we're gonna do 30 seconds each side. 2, 1. Last one's here. Just 30 seconds. What I'm gonna do is incorporate a little pause at the top. I'm gonna feel all that stretch through that tricep lat that we just worked. Feel it all the way through the mid back. All on that lateral side of the body here. Let's go 5 more seconds. Good, we'll switch sides. Last time here. Reaching down, reaching up. I'm just fingertips around the back of the ear. I'm not pulling on that neck any. Really open up the body. We'll go 10 more seconds. In 3, 2, 1, and good. Excellent. All right. Hopefully we feel good overhead. We've got those lats, triceps all stretched out. I appreciate you guys joining me today. We've got more classes going on for you guys this week. Stay tuned for more. Thank you.